You might wonder, how did a job of being a house sitter, getting paid, led to a missing mattress, a soiled mattress, and a lawsuit of $850? Let's get right into the video.
So I was house sitting her place for 6 weeks because she was in Europe.
Okay, so you were house sitting for her, so you didn't live there? You were
No, I was just house sitting.
Oh, house sitting.
And then I did an additional extended 2 weeks as well for her. Because she was staying in Europe and she needed someone ASAP. And
so then how did she find you? Did you know each other that she asked you to stay at her home, to take care of her home?
I met her through a mutual friend who referred me when she was needing a house person to take care of her home.
Okay, all right. And you, Miss Roberts, had complete faith in her? Did you know her or anything of her?
Thank you, Your Honor. So as far as I knew, I was going on vacation. I needed someone quickly, so I asked one of my trusted friends for a recommendation. And I trusted that recommendation.
Okay.
I thought I could put faith in her, and apparently I was wrong.
Okay, but you didn't have a problem with a stranger staying in your house for 6 weeks?
No, Your Honor. I traveled
Based on the
frequently.
recommendation that you had from your friend?
Yes,
okay.
Your Honor.
All right, so move on, Ms. Osaka. So you agreed to stay, to house sit for 6 weeks?
Yes, I agreed to stay for 6 weeks, and so it was a total of 8 weeks.
A total of 8 weeks, okay.
Yes.
So 8 weeks because why?
So at the end of my trip, I asked the plaintiff if I could extend it for an extra 2 weeks, would she still be available? And then she said that she was in the process of moving and needed some time to get settled.
All right, but still, so you agreed to 2 extra weeks. So a total of 8 weeks house sitting, right?
Yes, I did a total of 8 weeks.
Can you tell me a little bit about this a job offer that you had for house sitting? What were there special terms? I understand you guys wrote something up or you sent an email of things that you had to do.
When I was there, I had to just house sit, take care of the home, make sure that her house was safe, and anyone that was coming there, whether it was a gardener or the housekeeper, I would be
So is this the
supervising them.
email that you sent her on July 5th? That you went through, you said, the details of the job, you'll be the sole person inside of the house while I'm gone, no guests, etc. Water all the plants, take in mail, secure the home, keep doors and windows locked when you're not on the premises, secure garage and keep door closed and locked. Greet and direct any maintenance workers, landscapers, available to sign and accept packages, and I'll pay you each 2 week period an amount of $1,500, right?
That is correct.
So that's basically, those are the terms of the contract of employment.
Those were the terms for the 6 weeks.
Okay, for the 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Technically 8 weeks. All right. So you both agreed to it and you were fine. So any problems that you had during
had
the
no
first
problems during that
6
time.
weeks? Nothing? You were fine? You were able to do your own things, come in and go?
Yes.
Not an issue, no restrictions?
No restrictions.
Okay, fine. And then she calls you before the 6th week and says to you, I would like to extend my trip 2 more weeks.
That is correct. She emailed me.
All right. So then what happened then?
So when she emailed me that she wanted to extend for 2 more weeks, I let her know that to be honest, I was unsure if I wanted to take this because I had a roommate that just backfired.
Okay.
She didn't want to do the lease anymore with me. And unfortunately, I told her, I want to take those weeks to look for an apartment. I don't know if I can do this. You know, especially right now, it's really hectic. There's a lot of things going on in my life. Then she sent me another email, and if you want, I can give you the other email here.
Sure, go ahead. So then what? So did you say yes or no? I don't
I
understand.
told her I was unsure. I'll think about it.
And then well, she needed to know right away because I imagine either you come home from Europe on the flight or you don't. So how long did you take?
Well, she emailed me ASAP, as soon as possible, and she let me know that, you know what, if you want, you can leave your stuff in the garage or something. So she didn't specify where I could leave my stuff.
Okay, these are the emails, right?
Yes, and then you can leave your stuff there, and if you would like, till you find a place and make yourself at home, and I hope you feel at home there.
Okay.
I told her, yes, okay, sounds great. I will be there, and hope you know that I'm already bringing my stuff in, and she didn't, as you can tell, I didn't see the email there. And
so she basically says to you, you could store it in the garage or something while you figure out your landing spot.
When I saw this video, the first thing that came up to my mind was some of the US law. It happened in some states, I've read about it. I have friends in the US that says if someone stays in your home long enough where they receive email, kept some belongings in your house, and treats your house as their place of residence, then they gain tenant rights. So even without paying rent or signing a lease, and once that happens, the homeowner usually cannot just kick them like, okay, I don't want you here anymore, go. No, they have to go through a formal eviction process, and those things takes time and money. So imagine when someone who is just being nice to you end up getting hot on their feet. Little wonder why most people will not easily want to welcome into their house, because there's a tendency that they might regret their actions.
So I'm a minimalist. I only had my mattress and 2 canvases and then 2 duffel bags.
So 2 duffel bags, 2 what?
2 canvases. Because I'm a painter and some painting supplies.
Okay. And then so that could easily fit in the garage.
Yeah, that can easily fit in the garage.
Perfect. All right,
but I
yeah.
left it in the corner of the living room.
Okay, but a mattress in the living room?
Yeah, because I didn't want to leave it in the garage because she had her 2 vehicles parked there. And
Well, you just wrap it in paper and make sure it's okay.
well, it was brand new.
I think that, it's not your house for you to put your mattress. Did you bring like a box spring too?
My old place, we had a little wood stand for it.
Did you bring that as well?
No, I did not
So
bring that.
just the mattress?
Just the mattress, because it was brand new. I paid $850.
Okay, all right. So she tells you to, you decide not to put it in the garage, you put it in the living room. Okay, all right. You're a minimalist, not too much. How big were the duffel bags?
They're about just a regular, they're about this big.
The size of that desk?
Yeah, like the size of this desk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are pretty big.
Yeah, because that's
And how about
shoes,
the
clothes.
canvases?
The canvases, they're your regular 11 by 28 inches.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. So let me go back. So she lets you put the stuff in the garage, and you decide to put it in the living room, which is not a great idea because it's not your house. But you put it in the living room, and then do you tell her, yes, I will stay the additional 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you agreed to continue under the same terms of employment.
So I agreed to stay those extra 2 weeks, and I even thanked her for letting me stay there longer till I find a place.
Okay, so 2 weeks extra. It would have been 2 weeks. All right. What happened after the 2 weeks?
After the 2 weeks, she returned. She looked, as soon as she saw my stuff, she looked stressed out, and she wanted me to leave right away.
Well, job's over.
Yeah, but she already knew where I was coming from. Like, I was looking for a place.
Well, you
I
had
no
2
place
weeks to look for it. You had 8 weeks to look for an apartment, not just 2 weeks, right? So that's not her problem. That's yours. So I got to move out somewhere else. So did you make alternative plans if you don't have an apartment
Well,
yet?
during those the 2 weeks that I was there, she had a lot of people coming in. So to be honest, during business hours, I was working so much. I was making sure that anybody that was coming to her home was supervised.
Did you rebuild your house or have some new wing of construction or get FedEx packages every 20 minutes or something?
Your Honor, yes, I needed her to sign off on packages and maybe take care of some tasks around the house, but it was by no means a 24/7 job.
You had packages that came in?
Yes, from Europe. I had them shipped back from Europe. Otherwise, it was,
How many packages?
let's say about 8.
Okay, but did they come in, did they all require signature?
Well, of course, they're high value items.
Okay, all right, but they could have redelivered the next day if she wasn't there.
Of course, yes.
Okay. So then 2 weeks she comes in and she asks you to leave, which she has every right to, and what happens?
Well, I let her know, and I reminded her that she had offered me the opportunity to leave my stuff there and to have it till I find a place. And to be honest, there are a lot of packages that came. There were so many packages.
She said 8 packages, so it's not going to consume 24 hours of your day. So you don't start looking for a new apartment. You don't find a new apartment in the 8 weeks that you're living there, right? You wait till the last minute to find something.
I couldn't find a place.
So then she tells you to come in, and she comes in and she says, okay, job's done, can you please leave?
Yes, she tells me to please
Why
leave.
didn't you leave?
Well, because I let her know that I didn't have the time to look for a place, because during the time that...
Okay, that's not her problem. Why didn't you leave?
Well, because I lost an apartment because of her, too.
No, that's not because of her. You specifically said earlier, my roommate backed out of the apartment.
Yes.
So That's not her fault or
She
your
backed up.
fault, okay? So why didn't you leave? Why don't you go to a friend's house? Why don't you go to your parents' house? Why don't you go to a hotel? Because you were an employee, very specific purpose to remain in her home, and you didn't leave. So
Yes.
why didn't you leave?
Well, I didn't leave yet because she had given me that time to look for a place.
She gave you 2 weeks. She gave you 2 weeks to extra weeks because she was gone 2 weeks.
Yeah, those 2 weeks that I had just found out my roommate couldn't stay in the apartment that we were at, I was looking for a place. I was trying to look. I told her, look, I am in this situation. I need to look for a place. I don't think I'll be able to take care of your home. I'm not going to be able to house it. But she assured me, like, no, it's okay. I'll help you out. You know, the email's right there.
Okay, but Ms. Osaka, it's not my problem. You're the one who agreed to stay and house it.
I think the main thing is that why would she throw my stuff out and outside the street, out of her home? She threw
Because
my stuff out in the
technically you
street.
were trespassing after
She
a
even
while.
threw my mattress outside.
But technically you were trespassing. If I hired you to house sit and I come home and you're technically employment is over, when I walk in the door, you're supposed to say, okay, job done, I'm going to walk out. But you refuse to leave her own home. At that moment, when you refused to leave her home, you were a trespasser.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, Your Honor, is when we had the original contract, it was for 6 weeks.
Ms. Roberts, is there anything that you can add to explain why she felt she could stay there? Did you tell her at the moment when you came in 2 weeks that she had to leave?
Your Honor, I have no idea why she thought that she could stay in my home.
Okay, but when you came home after the 2 weeks, when your trip was over, where technically the job was over, what did she say? I'm not leaving?
Yes, she said, I'm not leaving. She's tried to blame the whole thing on me, saying that it was my fault that she was stuck there.
Dear Mrs. Plaintiff, okay, let's start from somewhere. The contract was house sitting, get paid. It was extended. You needed a place to put your belongings. She offered her garage. Okay, in your defense, she said her garage or something. But that statement wasn't ambiguous. It wasn't optional. It was a condition. It was a clear-cut fine. Place your things in the garage. So you actually, instead of respecting the space where you are temporarily occupying, you made yourself comfortable. And maybe you told yourself, okay, why would my things be in the garage? There are already 2 cars. No, I don't want to put my £850 $850 mattress. This is not me trying to trivialize your mattress and the price, but it's just me telling you that your action was coming from a sense of entitlement, and it shows a mindset of I'll do what works for me, even if when there was a direction that was agreed. That is actually very wrong. Now you claim you couldn't look for an apartment, your what is her name or was his name? Your housemate stood you up. How about making your priorities right? If you knew getting a place is more important for you, why accept the extension? There's something called no, right? If you know you need a place to put your mattress, your canvas, into your penta, your order of your stuff, likely you simply tell her no. 6 weeks was agreed. I need to find myself a home. After all, I'm just house sitting. I guess you think the house is so beautiful. She doesn't know what she's using the space for. But guess what? It is her house, her rules. Some people find it really not pleasant to put mattress in the house. So you can't just overstep that way by putting your mattress in her living room. That is totally absurd.
How long did she stay after when you came home? How long was she in your house for?
She was in my house for 5 days.
5 extra days, okay. And I understand, Ms. Roberts, based on your statement that you submitted to the court, you asked her during those 5 days to take her things out several times.
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And she refused.
And she refused, not even to the garage.
Okay. So you asked her to put it in the garage. So how many times do you think you told her in those 5 days, please take your things out?
At least 3 times a day.
3 times a day. All right, so 15 times you told her. And you gave her options, put it there, put it in the garage, take it out of my living room.
Yes, Your Honor.
And was it really just a few things that were there?
No, Your Honor.
What was in your living room? Explain.
She failed to mention the kitchen items that she brought into my home, extra art supplies. These duffel bags were huge. I mean, it was like she moved her entire apartment into my house.
Okay. All right. And did you tell her that if she didn't take her stuff out, you would take it out?
It was my understanding, based on the agreement that we contracted together, that this original agreement would be extended by 2 weeks. And so at the end of her employment term, she was no longer welcome in my home.
I understand that. I agree with you.
So, yeah, occupation
And
was
those
conditional.
5 days, you told her 3 times a day, get your stuff out. If you don't, I will. Did you say that to her?
Your Honor, in the moment, I wasn't even sure how to handle the situation.
Okay.
I mean,
how did she finally leave? What made her leave after the 5th day?
So on the 5th day, I realized she was going to be out of the house for an extended period of time. And I was concerned for my safety the entire time she was in my home. And so I took that opportunity to move the items outside of the front door.
Did you warn her you were doing that?
I did not, Your Honor.
Okay. Did she come home that day?
She did, Your Honor.
How long were her belongings outside before she came home? An hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
It couldn't have been more than a few hours.
Okay, so let's say 2 hours.
That's
and
fair.
where were they? Where did you put them? In the front of your house, in the backyard? Where did you put them?
I put them on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. Okay. So you put them on the sidewalk. They were there for maybe 2 hours. Okay. And you told her your stuff's outside. That's it. Do you live in a very busy street where people would go up and down, or pets or animals where you thought that maybe her things would be destroyed?
It's a residential neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay. Pretty calm?
Pretty calm.
Okay. All right. And so she came back, a couple hours later, and you told her that her stuff was outside. You changed the locks, I suppose.
I sure did.
And did you take your things at that moment, or did you leave them there?
At that moment, the first thing I did is I drove my car to look for my mattress.
But she said she put everything out front of the house.
Not everything, because I couldn't find my mattress.
Where was her mattress?
It was out front in the sidewalk.
And somebody took it?
Apparently so. I can't speak to that.
It was a block over on another street.
So somebody took it?
It was covered in feces, and it looked like an animal, usually for a toilet.
Okay.
You know, I told her and I assured her that I was going to leave that week.
But you had no right to remain in that house.
She could have verbally told me that she was going to take my stuff out and my mattress.
She verbally told you 3 times a day. Here's the thing, Miss Osaka, that you were hired, you willingly agreed to take care of her house for 6 weeks. Then you willingly agreed to stay 2 extra weeks. And because you did not find a place to stay, you had the audacity to tell this person that you had a right to stay in her home just because you were too darn lazy or didn't do enough to find yourself somewhere to live. Period. And number 2, common sense, you could have just found somewhere else to go and store your stuff. But because you didn't want to and you felt entitled to stay in a stranger's home, that's what happened. She warned you, get your stuff out 3 times a day. So based on that, I will deny your claim for $850. Good luck, Miss Osaka.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
If she thinks I was being a cow about this, then moo. Justice was served.
I hope people know that she's heartless, and I hope she never does this to someone else.
All that said, the defendant isn't completely free. Yes, you had every right to be upset. In fact, you had every right to feel like someone is trespassing. And like she said, she was feeling threatened. Imagine coming back from a trip. Who knows? Even if she went there on a leisure trip or a business trip, having to remind someone, get your stuff out. She says like she did that like 3 times every day. That is exhausting. But instead of taking her clothes, instead of taking her property outside the house, how about putting it in the garage? I get her point. This time she doesn't want to see the lady there because the lady has really frustrated her and infuriated her. But that being said, 2 wrongs does not cancel each other out. It just makes the situation worse. But Lady A, yeah, I like to call her Lady A, but she's actually Lady O. The plaintiff, Miss Osaka, ignored the clear direction, and she showed lack of accountability. At the end of the day, the plaintiff overstepped. When someone opens their home to you and give you a clear instruction, the least you could do is to follow them. But to the defendant, I like to advise, do not allow your frustration turn into a decision that could make everything worse, because there would have been a little bit of change and the plaintiff will win. Imagine the frustration, imagine the pain having to lose the case where somebody actually disrespected you, invaded your privacy, your space, and because you got angry and took action which is not supposed to be, you took the wrong action out of frustration and anger, you end up being the one at wrong. So let's caution. You need to heed to caution. But I would like to hear from you. Who do you think was more in the wrong here? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you. For now, have a lovely weekend ahead. Bye bye.